All right, everybody, we are here picking up the Challenger Hellcat from the dealership. So yes, the CV boot was replaced under the 5-year, 60,000 mile warranty.
I told you sneaky cat, smash, sneaky cat, smash.
Due to the fact that it has happened to stock vehicles as well. So make sure you keep an eye on yours. Like I said, it'll be flinging grease everywhere and you'll be able to tell if it's ripped. Mine had a huge rip on closer to the wheel side. Not sure how exactly it happened, but it happens a lot on these Hellcats. It's happened to Kevin. It's happened to a bunch of people that I know on the forums. So if you guys have a 15 or 16, keep an eye on that. And it might not have happened to yours, but it is possible. So just keep an eye on it. And it is under warranty. And I have heard, sorry for you guys, that they're not fixing it under warranty if your car is modded. But this dealership has decided, even though the car's modded, that was not the reason that the CV boot ripped. So we are good to go. Let's go drive it around. So also, remember, if your PCM is tuned, remember to remind them not to flash it or else you will be without a tune. I did have a check engine light on before due to the fact that I deleted my stock pump for the heat exchangers. Sorry, can't think right now. And I noticed that there's no check engine lights, so that kind of worries me that they did flash the PCM. But luckily for me, I have Diablo, so I'm going to plug the Diablo and just make sure that it was not flashed back to the stock tune. And if it is, I can just flip it back over. But it looks like they did delete the codes, but it doesn't mean they actually flashed the PCM. It doesn't say on the paperwork they did. It just says that customer does not want the PCM flashed and does not want the cruise control module fixed. So we're going to check that now. Alright guys, so the car, they did not flash it, I just checked it. The TCM tune from Tim is in there, and so is my E85 tune. So we are good to drive her around. So, I don't know if you can hear, but there's a little bit of whining noise in the back. It's actually my Rule pump in the ice tank is finally going out, I think. So, I definitely need to look into a different pump. I've been wanting to do an external pump anyways because they flow a little bit more than the Rules that usually come inside the tanks. I've actually had pretty good luck with mine. Kevin's went out after a week, so I'd say mine lasted pretty long. But I'm gonna go get some food right now. I actually did sell the Bogarts this week, so the Bogarts are no longer gonna be on the car. So once I get back to the house, I gotta take the Bogarts off action. I don't have wheels and tires for the car, so I won't be driving around for a little bit. And just to give you an idea, I'm not getting welds. Or at least I'm pretty sure I'm not getting welds, but they're 12 to 16 weeks out right now. Billet Specialties is 8 to 12 weeks out on wheels. I'm trying to think who else I looked into. Yeah, so they're pretty much all just backed up. They usually have a long wait time anyways because they're typically custom machined, made to order. But sometimes you can catch them when they're in stock if they've made an abundance of them or whatever the case may be. But essentially what I'm trying to do is get a little bit wider wheel so I can put a little bit more tire down to the ground. I'm only on a 9.5 inch wheel in the back, so even like a 10, 10.5 would make a huge difference. I don't think I want to go to a full 11 inch, but even a 10 or a 10.5 inch will just help put that much more tire to the ground. Same size tire, but I'll actually be able to put more of it to the ground versus the tire kind of rolling up. So that's what I'm looking into right now. But yeah, I did sell the Bogarts. I'm going to miss them. They're super nice wheels. They're very lightweight. They fit with no spacer as long as you have the 15-inch conversion. And they are pretty expensive, though. The way I spec'd mine out, I did the single race bead lock. Now they actually have options on HHP where you can get them powder coated. You can choose the bead lock ring style, which is really cool. But when I ordered mine, they still only had the one ring style, just the race single bead lock on the outside. But now you can choose powder coated, you can choose different bead lock rings. It's pretty cool how you can spec them out. But mine were single race bead lock, billet center caps, open-ended lug nuts, 15 by 9.5, 10 spoke. And they're about like $9.90 a piece, I believe. So they're not a cheap wheel, but you do get what you pay for. And they're literally, I think, the nicest wheels I've ever had on any vehicle I've ever owned. I've owned some pretty nice wheels. And I highly recommend those if you want a direct fit wheel, such as the Bogart. The only problem when you go to another wheel is making sure, first of all, trying to find someone that has a 5x115 that's not Weld or Bogart. Everyone else don't typically make it, and if they do, it's made to order, and you got to figure out the offset and all that based off of what's going to fit on the Hellcat, because they fit a little weird. So I'm still looking into wheels. I haven't even ordered any yet, so who knows when the next time I'll get wheels is. I've also thought about picking up a stock set and just daily driving the Hellcat for a little while, because I do miss driving it, especially right now. As you can notice, I have the exhaust back on, and it's super quiet here. It's really enjoyable to drive the car around, and I love how loud it is with just the mid pipes on. Like, it sounds really cool, but driving around it kind of does get obnoxious. And I like my vehicles loud, don't get me wrong, but that shit gets obnoxious. But the cool thing is, still, like, when I get on the Hellcat, it still is really loud, but just driving around, like, just can't really hear it. So it's like a 5% throttle. But it's just it's a fun car to drive around. It's still a street car. It's very fun to drive around. I'd really like to throw some stock wheels on it though, just because I've been driving on skinnies on the front for who knows how long, like all summer pretty much. So I forget what it feels like to have real wheels and tires on the car and being able to take corners fast. But just driving around town, it's not that different at all, if you're wondering. So I'm gonna go pick up some food. I'm glad I got my car back. Huge shout out to Texas Dodge for fixing the CV boot. Really appreciate it. And thank goodness they took care of me, because the car would probably be down a little bit longer than I wanted it to. So now the next step is to find some wheels and tires for the car. And I don't know, there is some track events coming up, some private track rentals that Kevin and I have been invited to. And I believe we're gonna go to one of them for sure, because I wanna see if I can finally get a low 9-second pass, because a lot of people wanna talk shit, but then they realize my 9.5 pass was at plus 2,000 DA. On a stock blower only car with IRS suspension, so stock suspension still. So speaking of suspension, that video's coming soon. I returned the stock Hellcat springs and went a different route, so hopefully those come in like the next couple weeks and we can make a video on that, and I'll update you guys on that. But that's gonna do it for today's video. I'm sick of my ass talking. I get annoying, but I'm really glad to have my car back. I love driving this thing around, and that's gonna do it. Make sure you guys always comment, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram and Snapchat at VanV39, and my ass is gonna get some food. Peace.